Welcome back to our channel, where we update the latest, most shocking and dramatic developments of the movie Beyond the Gates, which aired on Wednesday, June 25. If you are a fan of breathtaking twists, mind games and a series of dark secrets gradually revealed, then don't take your eyes off the screen because what is about to happen in the movie will make us all dizzy. And remember to follow and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of the next shocking episodes. In the seemingly peaceful picture of the town where everyone tries to put on a good facade, a series of consecutive events explode when trust is shaken, the past is exposed and threats from the dark begin to rise stronger than ever. It all started when Danny, after a long time of absolute trust in Hayley, suddenly noticed unusual signs from the woman she once considered a confidant. There were no more carefree conversations, no more frank sharing. Instead there were evasive looks, hesitant answers, and especially the times Hayley suddenly left without leaving any reasonable explanation. At first, Danny tried to convince herself that it was just a temporary feeling, an unfounded insecurity after all the pain she had experienced. But then, the sharp instinct of a woman who had been betrayed many times like Danny urged her to look deeper into the truth. Into the increasingly obvious manifestations that Hayley no longer hid as carefully as before. Danny silently observed, paying attention to every little detail from Hayley's irregular schedule. The hastily deleted messages on her phone, the long phone calls in the middle of the night, and the coincidental absences at sensitive times. All those seemingly separate pieces, when put together, painted a dark picture of lies that Danny could not name, but definitely felt its existence. The suspicion grew, accumulating day by day, hour by hour, making Danny unable to focus on anything other than finding the truth. She began to dig through every connection, every event related to Hayley. And it didn't take long for Danny to realize that there was a dark void in Hayley's past that she had never exploited. A void filled with secrets. Possibly the source of all the instability Danny was feeling. At the same time, in another development, Nicole is forced to face Andre, the name associated with the darkest memories in her life. The one who once pushed her into the abyss of collapse and despair. The encounter was unannounced, unprepared, and not in Nicole's calculations. But fate always has a way of pushing people into the most dire situations at the weakest moment. Andre appears like a nightmare resurrected from the past, no longer a rumor. No longer a distant figure but a clear, cold, dangerous, and calculating presence. Nicole soon realizes that Andre's return is not simply a coincidence, but a carefully calculated plan to put her in a passive position. Andre holds secrets that can destroy everything Nicole has worked hard to rebuild after the incident. Her career, her reputation, and even her current life could all collapse in the blink of an eye if Andre decides to play his trump cards. Facing Andre's cold eyes and malicious smile, Nicole is forced to maintain her composure, even though waves of fear are surging inside. She clearly understands that this is a psychological battle where just a small mistake can have unpredictable consequences. But Nicole is no longer the weak, passive person she was in the past. The trauma she has experienced has trained her into a different person, stronger, more courageous, and ready to face any challenge, even when the enemy is the one who knows her weaknesses best. While personal confrontations increasingly push the characters into difficult situations. In another dark corner, Martin, a man who has always lived under the shadow of unforgivable sins, is secretly implementing a plan to erase his past. Unlike Danny, who was caught in a spiral of suspicion, or Nicole, who was forced to fight against an exposed enemy, Martin acted quietly, coldly, and calculated down to the smallest detail. He knew that if even the smallest trace remained, everything he had worked so hard to build would collapse. Martin started by cleaning up relationships that could become dangerous. People who had once accompanied him but could now betray him at any time. Some were silenced with money, others simply disappeared forever without a trace. Martin didn't stop at handling people. He also personally controlled all related data. Documents, photos, recordings, virtual bank accounts, information storage devices, all were erased or completely destroyed. He hired high-tech experts, professional hackers to clean up traces on cyberspace. Every clue that once linked him to the cruel mistakes of the past disappeared one by one as if it had never existed. However, Martin knew very well that erasing the past was never a simple task. Because the past has the ability to follow people more persistently than anything else. And just when Martin thought the plan was almost perfect, he discovered that there was still one last link that had not been dealt with: a person who held the biggest, most dangerous secret, which could make all his efforts go up in smoke overnight. Martin understood clearly. This time he could not make a mistake, could not hesitate. The decision to take action for the last time was made by him with absolute coldness, without mercy. Without letting emotions overwhelm reason. Because he knew, if he delayed, the past would come back to swallow him, dragging him back to the mud that he had been struggling to escape for so many years. In the overall picture of Beyond the Gates, as each secret gradually revealed, each conspiracy became clearer. Every character was pushed into the fiercest battle for survival. Danny was torn between emotion and reason, between fragile faith and growing suspicion. Nicole was forced to choose between continuing to run away or standing up to confront the most dangerous enemy that had ever haunted her life. Martin, with his cold and cruel nature, entered the final purge to gain freedom that seemed within reach but was farther away than ever. But all that is happening is just the tip of the iceberg. Because in the dark, there is another force that is observing, remembering, and waiting for the right moment to strike. Danny thinks she is the one who is searching for the truth. But she has no idea that she is the pawn that is being controlled. Nicole thinks that facing Andre is the biggest battle of her life. But the real enemy may be hiding under the familiar mask that she has never suspected. Martin, while he is frantically purging the past, has no idea that there is someone else secretly collecting every piece of the debris that he thought he had destroyed. Every trace he erases becomes a new trap set by someone else. Just when everything seems to be under control, a devastating twist occurs. A previously unseen video suddenly leaks online, capturing gruesome details from a past incident that Martin staged. His name is mentioned, his face is revealed, and the name he has spent years trying to erase becomes a media sensation. Nicole is pulled into a new spiral when an anonymous source releases documents linking her to an old murder case, threatening to destroy everything she has stood for. Meanwhile, Danny, while tracking Hayley, discovers a truth that nearly destroys her. Hayley is not only lying, but may also be an accomplice in a dangerous plot targeting Danny herself, a plot that, if not stopped quickly, could cause her to disappear forever. The darkness is spreading. The traitor has not yet been revealed. And the price for finding the truth could be your life. Beyond the Gates is no longer a story of personal secrets. It has become a battle for survival, where only one person ruthless enough, smart enough, and reckless enough can survive until the end. Stay tuned and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss the episodes that are entering the climax, where each character will be stripped bare, each truth will be revealed, and the final shock may be beyond any of your imagination.